Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the second annual NJLA Public Relations Spotlight program. I am your moderator, Keisha Miller. We have some wonderful librarians joining us today, and thank you all for taking the time out to support your colleagues. As you see on your screen, it is a Spotlight program, and so what are we doing today? If you're looking for new marketing ideas or tips to better communicate your stakeholders, this is a panel for you. These are all winners of the Public Relations Awards held during last conference, June 2021. And so we hope that you enjoy this presentation. Let me stop sharing my screen right now. My name is Keisha Miller. I'm the teen librarian and volunteer coordinator here at South Orange Public Library, and we'll learn a little bit more about the Honors and Awards Committee, but I'd like to introduce our panelists for today. First, we have Kristian Brito, who is a Youth Services Library Associate at Union Public Library, where he's been working for 4 years. He completed his MLIS this past December, and he's looking forward to receiving his state certification this coming year. Then we have Justine Ferreira. She's a Youth Services Librarian at Union Public Library, where she's been working since January 2021. She's been working in libraries since she was in high school, and she finished her MILIS at Rutgers this past May. This is her first professional librarian position after dreaming of and working towards children's librarianship for the past decade. Then we have Melissa Hozik, who is the adult programming librarian at the East Brunswick Public Library. During the pandemic, Melissa helped EBPL shift quickly to virtual programming. From Zoom to multi-platform live streaming to podcasting, she experiments and researches ways to reach adults wherever they may be. She created multi-library programming for the first time at EBPL by breaking from physical walls that separated our library's communities. And lastly, we have Michael Pucci, who is the head of collections and communication at South Orange Public Library. He also writes reviews of contemporary fiction for Library Journal, for which he was named Reviewer of the Year in 2015. Welcome to all of our panelists, and welcome to you all. Before we get into the presentations, I do want to turn the mic over to Judith Pisano, who will share a little bit about honors and awards. Judith?
Thank you, Keisha. My name is Judith Pisano, and I'm the NJLA co-chair of the Honors and Awards Subcommittee, along with Joy Robinson. I just want to welcome everyone this afternoon. The annual NJLA Honors and Awards is a chance for us to celebrate our libraries, our colleagues, trustees, students, the press, library advocates, and most importantly, you. Award nominations are currently open, and the submission form can be found on the NJLA website. The deadline to submit a nomination is April 1st, and we do encourage self-nominations. So thank you and enjoy the program today.
Thank you, Judith. And before we begin, I would be remiss if I didn't thank NJLA and all of my colleagues for awarding me with this year's New Jersey Librarian of the Year Award. And so I hope you enjoy today's presentation. Up first, we have Melissa Hozik from East Brunswick Public Library. Please give your attention to the screen.
Hello, everyone. I hope that you are safe and well during the little bit of chaos that we are still in. And I appreciate you taking your time out. And as you said, Public Relations Spotlight. So East Brunswick Public Library was a 2021 winner for the community campaign category for Option Green, Climate Change, and Community. Today, I'll be talking about what Option Green is, how we found community partners, how we designed the graphics and everything for the marketing, how we share those materials, which I think is how we were selected for this award, and some of the successes and opportunities that we had. Option Green is an ongoing environmental lecture series that we founded here at EBPL in 2017. We have a partnership with the Friends of the East Brunswick Environmental Commission. They are a nonprofit fundraising arm of our Environmental Commission. They run the community garden and do a lot of great things. And with this established relationship, we were selected for American Library Association's Resilient Communities Libraries Respond to Climate Change pilot program. There were 25 libraries across the country that were selected. And it was a $1,000 programming grant and some other things to help us bring awareness of climate change to our communities. We had 3 major programs, and then we did 4 virtual film screenings. We had the state climatologist, we had a lecture on what some New Jersey students are doing in Zimbabwe to help with sustainability, and we talked about environmental injustice in New Jersey itself, which is how we really wanted to focus on this whole part of everything. So to expand our reach, we had all been on Zoom, we've all done different platforms. We decided to stream and record to multiple platforms using StreamYard. We were streaming to Facebook. I think it was still called Periscope, but it was Twitter and YouTube. It made it easier to reach people in different places. If someone doesn't use Facebook, they might not be comfortable going on Facebook Live. And we also embedded it onto our website. We also used the programming money to offer live CART transcription to remove the barrier to access for those who are deaf, hard of hearing, and non-native English speakers. The company that we use for CART transcription, they give us some great translators. They took those notes at the end and made them an SRT file, and that's how you have captioning on YouTube and on Facebook. So we're able to take that and in the future put that into the recordings so people would be able to watch and still have the captioning. As we know, the COVID-19 pandemic gave us all challenges, but also we had a unique opportunity to partner with other libraries and offer programs virtually to the world. East Brunswick is part of a consortium, but we are a single branch library, and we silo ourselves, and this was an opportunity to break out of the silos. So we approached other libraries through their directors to invite community partners, and everyone we asked said yes, which was totally awesome. There was no financial obligation. They didn't have to run the events. They didn't have to get up and speak. They just had to promote the event and add it to their events calendar. And these were our partners: North Brunswick, Highland Park, Highgate, Old Bridge, New Brunswick. I don't know if anyone's there from there. South Brunswick, Matawan, Aberdeen, and Plainsboro. So we utilized Vecteezy, Canva for nonprofits, which every library should have it. It's free, and Adobe Illustrator to make the promotional material. The cool thing with Canva, you can change the size and formats of things to make them more friendly for each platform you're sharing to, so you don't have weird cropping out and everything. So these are examples. We did something that could be printed, letter, tabloid size, and bookmark. I don't think anyone printed because our buildings weren't open. Facebook posts, which is usually optimized to rectangular, and Instagram, which is a square. We had a press release as always, but the things that we did were a little bit differently. We aggregated all the social media platforms for all the partners, because as you know, you can tag the wrong library in the wrong state. So we tried to do that to make it easier for everyone to copy. So we called them easy copy posts. They were in a Google Doc, and people could copy and paste. It tagged everything. It had all the links. You didn't have to worry about making any errors. So this is an example. I know it's small, but it was for the same event for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, with the appropriate tags for all the organizations that we partnered with, including ALA, all the links formatted in the way that works best for that platform. And so this is where we think we did something a little bit differently and how we were able to receive this award. There were so many files. You know what happens when you don't attach a file. When you zip a file, there's a typo, you try to resend it. So we knew that that was going to be a challenge. So we utilized Google Drive to make this media press kit. It made it very easy to disseminate, and I linked it in every partner email so I can never forget an attachment. And so I have a link to the media kit. I will put it in the chat after I'm done speaking. I don't know if we'll be sharing our slides, but if you ever want to reach out to me, feel free to do so, and I'll send the link. So I just wanted to show you quickly kind of what it looks like to go through it. This is Google Drive. We made folders to organize it. I'm kind of obsessive about folders. Anyone who works with me knows I had one separately for the press releases, as a PDF and as a doc file to make it, whatever format would be easiest. The print app sets, so I put the flyers and printables all in the same place. And then for the social media assets, I broke it out by the shape. So we had the rectangle for Facebook, which actually works on Instagram too. Quick note on that. Square, which, works best for Instagram. We did have one video promotion for the documentary and discussion to get people interested in the documentary. And then here was the easy copy post. So all the text is here, already done. You don't have to do anything. It's already there. If you wanted to tweak it, you could and customize it. But for those who might not have the time and the staffing and a dedicated person for social media, we had it all written out and we wanted to make it as simple as possible so we could get the most partners. Again, we have some amazing libraries. It was awesome to work with them, and we've actually done more partnerships since this program. And I wanted to explain too, this is how I got everyone's social media handle for each platform, your websites, so I didn't mess it up. And then you get those messages from patrons who are like, I don't know what to do. And also at the end to the recordings, I had the links to the YouTube recordings so they could easily share that as well. Oh, so it's gonna autoplay and I don't want to do that. Hold on one second. Okay. Successes and opportunities. Having the media kit made it really easy to get the stuff out. If there, I didn't miss attachments. I'm bad about that. Apologies. I could fix typos and everyone got them immediately. There was consistent branding. No one had to do extra work. You knew what it was. And it greatly expanded the reach of our programming. We had some of the best attendance that we had during the pandemic. And I think that also made it easier to get presenters from all over the world. The one challenge and a place for an opportunity was if you're not used to Google Drive, I forgot to change the setting that, anyone can view it. And so people had to log in with Gmail. So I made that change. And I also had to change the sharing so people didn't accidentally delete things, including myself. So that's a crash course in what Option Green 2021 Climate Change and Community was. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I am always available on email. It's mhozik, Hozik, @ebpl.org. And if you're excited about sustainability and climate change and what we can do to help our communities, you can visit ebpl.org/Option Green. And that's it. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm excited to see everyone else's presentations. I can tell you there's some amazing projects here with our colleagues in New Jersey.
Thank you so much, Melissa, and congratulations to East Brunswick Public Library.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity and for all the libraries to do this. So definitely every library, apply. The application time is open.
Thank you. All right, so we have, Michael, did you have a question? Your hand is raised.
No, that's a clap.
All right. Speaking of, we're going to clap right on into South Orange Public Library. So Michael, you are next.
Okay. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for being part of this. As someone who was on the Honors and Awards Committee for 6 years and gave a lot of awards away, it was nice that I actually, on behalf of the library, won 2 awards in this category last year. And so that's what I'll be talking about today. The first one, and actually they both came out of the pandemic. One was during the height of lockdown, and one was after we'd reopened. So I think of them as kind of in conversation with each other in a way. So the first one we won was for the Surprise Us category, which is the one, it uses technology a little more, something a little more out of the box. And this came about maybe a month into lockdown. So April 2020, we were having one of our big staff meetings on Zoom. And the idea came up that we wanted to do one of those things where all of the different people kind of are in dialogue with each other. Like maybe the videos are almost connected to each other, so that maybe one person would hold up a message like, "We miss you, hope to see you soon." Then they would crumple up the ball and toss it off screen. And then the next person would sort of catch it, open it up, and then there'd be their own message. And then maybe they'd make a paper airplane or something and sail it, and the next person would catch it, and so forth. That turned out to be really too ambitious. For one thing, it's hard to coordinate that if you can't be in front of the person. It's all well and good to throw a ball like that, but then you have to make sure that the second person is in exactly the right spot, and so it doesn't look like they're reaching on the other side. And then, some people are a little savvier with technology than others, so that it was turning into more trouble than it was worth. So we simplified it, and we said, what if we just came up with a sentence? So we figured out how many staff members wanted to participate. And so I came up with the sentence, "We miss you, we hope to see you soon." and I assigned a word to each staff member. And their directive was just be as creative as you want to be. And some people are very artistic and they really drew the word beautifully. Other people made a craft out of it. People like me who can't draw, asked their wife to do it. But at the end of the 3 or 4 days, people gave me all their words. And then out of that, I created a collage so that it was just a running sentence. So I'll share my screen so you can see what the final poster looked like. This I also did, as Melissa said, on Canva, which is a great free service. And I agree, you should definitely use it. So this is the poster that I created. I guess it was good that, it was also important that we have an even number of staff members. We had 18, so that way I could be all symmetrical. So this was posted on the front and back doors of the building. We posted it on our social media and our newsletter, and it got a good reception. But the thing that really took it over the top was we wanted to make a video out of it. So using a program called WeVideo, W-E Video, which is, I guess, analogous to iMovie or something like that. I was able to take the different files and stitch them together into a video file using a music that WeVideo provides for me. And then I posted that on YouTube, and this got a very good reception. So I'll play that for you now. Everyone can still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, that went up on YouTube, and got a really good reception.
How about this? And it's pretty much in the finance district as well.
Uh-oh.
So
What is
have
that?
you ever thought about quitting your day job and pursuing your passion? Well, what?
Sorry. Autoplay. Okay. It was also good to get the staff involved. Again, this was the height of lockdown. We had not seen or been in front of each other in probably 6-7 weeks. So this was a way for us to communicate with each other as well. And then when we reopened, maybe a month later, we then took that flyer and put it into the building as sort of a welcome back. So I'm very happy with how it turned out. WeVideo is very simple to use. You can see that I was able to sort of animate the different clips. So the static pictures that people gave me, you can do various effects to it. You can make transitions. You can have them kind of go in and out, so that there were, I think, 18 people. They're not all static. Something's happening with all of them. So it looks like a movie that we weren't really able to make. Although maybe down the road someday, I'll try to do that in some other fashion, because I think it's a great idea. It just was too much work if I couldn't be in front of them. So that was the first one. Then we reopened, and we did all of our, slowly phased our services back in. And as we came up on March of 2021, we realized it had been a year since the pandemic began, and all of the, we all shifted our services, and we wanted to find a way to commemorate that. And so this second award that we received, Information Services, was an infographic that went over all of the different things that we did, beginning with the lockdown and then all through the following year. So a good chunk of it were the 3 months we weren't there, but we also did things in the 9 months that we'd come back. And I was pleasantly surprised. I shouldn't have been, but I was pleasantly surprised at how much we actually did do, even though we weren't in the building. I would never want to do it again, and I hope we don't have to, but it was gratifying to know that even though for 3 months we weren't in the building, we were still providing the community with important services. So using Canva, again, their infographic feature, I came up with this flyer. And I had asked the staff for various suggestions as to what we should feature. So you can see here, when we closed, we went to remote calling. So how many phone calls did we take? How many library cards did we issue from our homes? Of course, our digital services went way up, so we wanted to feature that. How many reference questions did we answer? As everyone did, we all went to Zoom for virtual programming. So what were all of the programs that we put on? Our YouTube page, which had really just been there as an archive before, suddenly became a vital part of our communications apparatus. So we wanted to feature that. 10,000 views in a few months. And the digital services that we added over the year, we wanted to share that as well. So again, using Canva and their infographic feature, this is the flyer that we produced, and it went up again on social media, on our bulletin boards, in our newsletter. And in addition to telling patrons, hey, this is what we did for the year, I also wanted to let the staff know this is what we did, and you should be proud of it, because it's a lot. And again, it's not something I'd ever want to go through again, but it's good to know that this infrastructure is in place, and our commitment doesn't stop just because the building isn't open. So, hold on, stop. Okay. So those are the 2 awards we won. I'm happy at the end to take questions on any of that. But again, I use Canva for the flyers and WeVideo for the YouTube video.
Thank you so much, Michael. It is an honor to work with you and to work with such a great library. So congratulations to SOPL for both awards. And now we turn our attention to Justine Ferreira and to Kristian Brito of the Union Public Library.
Hi there, everybody. I'm going to give Justine a chance to pull up our little PowerPoint here. In the meantime, I'm Kristian again, and that's Justine.
I'm Justine.
And we're from Union Public Library, and we were thrilled to receive the Public Relations Award in the Surprise Us category. And we're here today to discuss our project for a service we offer at UPL called Shelf Help.
So first, we thought we would play the video so you can see what we're going to be talking about, and so you can have it stuck in your head just like we did for a few months.
Are you looking for new books to read? Are you searching but you find you don't succeed at finding books that you really like? Well, listen up while you read drops the line. Tell us what you like, submit it. Come and pick it up, then read it. Didn't like our choice? Return it. Let us try again, you'll love it. That's right, we do As guide for our needs, UPL is here for your information needs. Tell us what you like, submit it. Come and pick it up, then read it. Didn't like our choice? Return it. Let us try again, you'll love it.
Sorry. All right, so like most libraries at the beginning of the pandemic, Union Public Library's building was closed to the public for a while, which required patrons to put materials on hold for curbside pickup. This limited patrons' access to tailored book suggestions, as well as staff's ability to perform reader's advisory. Faced with this issue in the fall of 2020, library staff decided they wanted a way for patrons to virtually tell us their likes and dislikes, so librarians could select books they thought would interest them. Staff started meeting to decide the best course of action to make this process as friendly as possible. It was then that one of our reference librarians, hi Debbie, came up with the name Shelf Help, which we know we had to roll with because it's awesome. I started working here at UPL just in January of 2021, so these discussions were already underway. And I came from Rahway Public Library, where we had recently instituted something called Book Match. Book Match was a Google form accessible on the library's website that asked a few simple questions and had the answers sent right to the library. Because of the success and ease of access of Book Match at RPL, I recommended using a Google form in a similar fashion. I spoke with Liz over at Rahway, and she helped me model Shelf Help off of Book Match. So we used a Google form.
When we were brainstorming ways to promote this new service, Justine and I kept coming back to a central point of inspiration, which was a viral video by a Duke University librarian called Library Takeout. So if you guys haven't seen it, Library Takeout pairs a great synth pop tune with animated visuals to promote their library's contactless reservation service during the early days of the pandemic. And it's just a lot of fun. I highly recommend seeking out that video if you haven't seen it before. And it gets stuck in your head very quickly and gets the information there as well. So since I make music at home as a hobby, I suggested that we might be able to cook up a promo song sort of in the same vein, just as a bit of a challenge. And Justine worked on the lyrics that will communicate the core information about the service while I set on working on the music. So for the music, I wanted to create something with the catchy off-kilter quality of a memorable jingle. So I created the track using this digital audio workstation that you see here. It's called Ableton. I've been using that recreationally for a few years to make music, but if you're not familiar with this sort of thing, it's basically a GarageBand style software. It's pretty easy to use. You don't need to use this in particular. You can use various other brands or versions of this sort of program, whatever is easy for you. And so while I did use a physical keyboard that I have and a microphone, the overwhelming majority of the recording was done just on my laptop on this program. I didn't really need to bring in any, live instrumentation or anything. I could sort of get all the sounds I needed on the computer on this program alone. And I didn't have to have any special playing ability or anything like that. And then because I thought it might add some spunky attitude to the track, and also because I didn't want anyone to hear my voice as my voice, I pitched my vocals up and I layered them until we felt like the lyrics were pretty clear. And then we didn't want to drown out the rest of the music, but we wanted to make sure the information was clearly communicated.
So this video can basically show that you don't need any fancy video editing for software to make something fun, because I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but we just made this actually in Google Slides. So we created all the different images you saw, and then we screen recorded while flipping through the slides to the beat of the song to effectively, form a stop motion film. Was there a better way to do it? Like, definitely, but we had a lot of fun. And since, as Kristian mentioned, it was kind of just a challenge for us, it was much easier than learning, a new software just to make a video that kind of was just for fun. With regards to designing the video, we wanted to make sure that the lyrics were able to be comprehended and that the video would be as accessible as possible. So we made the video to walk the viewers through the lyrics, which in turn walk the patron through what Shelf Help is and how to use it. And finally, we were able to get a lot of buy-in from other staff members by encouraging them to create their own Bitmoji to include in the video. In fact, all those little avatars that you saw dancing were made by UPL staff members to represent themselves. So it was a great experience for library staff, and because we were all able to kind of guess who was who and have fun changing our looks and our outfits. But it also lent kind of a human face to a virtual project in which patrons could see the library staff members they had grown accustomed to visiting with before the pandemic had begun. So UPL has received numerous shelf help requests with multiple patrons returning for additional recommendations after a successful initial experience. Use of shelf help has waned slightly towards the fall and winter of 2021, likely because the library has been open to the public. However, due to the uptick in COVID cases, we've had to revert to curbside services once again. So we do anticipate an increase in usage as browsing has been rendered impossible. Additionally, as we've seen in various avenues, the pandemic has made grab and go services popular and here to stay. So we will continue offering shelf help as an option for our patrons.
And that's it for us.
Wow, great job, you guys. Thank you very much. And everybody in the chat is just applauding everybody's work. Melissa, thank you so much for dropping some links in there. I neglected to mention that this is being recorded, so if you need to go back to anything, you can certainly get the recording once we're done. But feel free to reach out to anybody with questions. I do, just on the heels of Union Public Library, I do want to share that Library Shelfie Day is coming up on January 26th. So I hope that everybody will be participating in that and sharing it on their library social media. So I'm looking at the chat. Everybody is really supportive and thank you so much. People seem to be really inspired by what we have all been able to do, as we should be. It's unfortunate that we're here again trying to alter services, but libraries always come out strong. So we're doing what we can with what we have, and even then some. If anybody has a question, please put it into the chat, or feel free, if you'd like to unmute yourself, you can ask the question. Let's give a few minutes for that. Don't be shy. You can ask a question. I also want to take the opportunity to thank the two co-chairs of the PR committee, Manny and Sarah, for working with the Honors and Awards committee to put this together. It is the second annual Spotlight program, and so hoping that people nominate themselves or their colleagues to, win an honor and award for this year's conference, and that we can do this again next year. And doesn't look like we have any questions. Thank you, Dale.
Yeah, there was a question, actually.
Oh, there was? Okay, I missed that.
It's for Michael. Did you receive any stories from the community because of the appeal on the infographic?
Oh yes, the our stories. Yes, that's been an initiative of ours for a long time, but we really pushed it, during the lockdown, and we did get a good number of poems, pictures that we then put. I don't know if they're on our local history webpage, but they're in our local history files, and they'll eventually make their way onto. We have a wiki, a local history wiki, and we'll put them on there. So yes, the answer is yes.
Thanks for catching that, Melissa.
Can I say one additional thing, just as an alumnus of the Honors and Awards Committee? It's really important that you the committee gets a lot of nominations, and I think a lot of libraries or a lot of staffers think, well, what's so special about this? All libraries do this. Well, let us decide that. Let the committee decide that, because you never know. I can only promise you that if you submit something, the committee will discuss it, and you may end up with a plaque. So don't be shy. And as Keisha said, you can self-nominate. It's tacky elsewhere, but in this purpose, go for it.
Michael, Manny says that she hopes that you share those stories for Snapshot Day coming in February. In which case, that's a perfect segue. The PR committee is working on Snapshot Day to become Snapshot Month. So you want to stay tuned for that because we love libraries all month long. Yes?
All year long.
All year long, exactly. So thank you, Manny, for dropping that into the chat. Are there any other questions or comments? Going once, going twice. Does anybody have anything they'd like to share from their library and or staff? Okay, all right. Well, congratulations to all of the libraries once again. Wonderful, wonderful job. I hope everybody is staying safe and doing what they can. And thank you all for joining us today. It was a wonderful presentation and we'll see you next time. Thank you all. Bye.